Okay, so I am going to be presenting on single parent of multiple children, health concerns. So first up, just a little description of the population. So this population is anybody who is parenting on their own. So that could be mom with children, that could be dad with children, grandma, grandpa with children, anybody that is parenting one or more child at home. So this population is particularly at risk for increased health disparities because there's not as much attention on the children at home. One parent trying to do everything can be super overwhelming. They're trying to be mom, they're trying to be dad, they're trying to be the one that's bringing in all the money, all the food, everything. That could be super overwhelming, causing health disparities at home because of that lack of attention. The single parenting can also cause more stress on the parent themselves, leading them to have illnesses come about, and they're just so focused on, living, getting to the next day, providing for their little family, that maybe they put off these little health concerns and they turn into something more. And also this could be to the children too. Maybe little Johnny has a little cold. Mom doesn't have time to take him into the doctor. She's got to go to work. She's got to get those hours. That cold can turn into pneumonia, and then, you have bigger problems. Not only physically, but mentally. Big concern with the mental problems. So here in Cache Valley, 15.8% of homes are having the single parent household. That was a lot more than I was expecting. Utah's 18%, the nationally is 20%, and then internationally is 13.7%. I was actually pretty surprised at how close all these numbers were. So just to give you an idea, the population in Cache Valley is 128,000, and then nationally it's 328 million. So very different. There's a huge difference there. And then obviously the highest was nationally. That didn't really come to a surprise to me just because of population, and I feel like we're pretty blessed here in Utah. We have a lot of resources, especially here in Cache Valley. We have, I don't know, just access to a lot of counseling, a lot of family help, a lot of help from extended family, and I feel like the culture here in Utah is family oriented, which could definitely help with a marriage. It can help ease some of those burdens. So I was not surprised to see that it was lower in Utah than it was nationally. Some contributing factors. So when I went to that website, the social determinants of health that could affect this population, there was 3 of them that really stood out to me. One being the safe housing, transportation, and neighborhoods. The main reason I thought about this was because being a single parent trying to accommodate for all the needs, likely you're not going to be able to have this super nice house in a nice community. You may have a little bit more rundown house. You're just getting by. Sadly, a lot of times with that, it comes with sketchier areas, more poverty levels. Transportation, you may not have a reliable vehicle. The neighborhoods may not be as friendly. Maybe not, but I just feel like the stigma of this population is probably more in the sketchier side of things, I want to say. Education, job opportunities, and income was another one that stood out for me. Income, obviously, because either just mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever the single parent may be, is trying to provide for everybody, doing their best, but it's hard. I can't imagine being a single parent trying to do all that by myself. Education, not going to have the time to sit at home and help your kids each day and give them that time and attention and love needed. The last one is access to nutritious foods and physical activity opportunities. I'll get to this later on in my other slides, but in a couple studies I looked at, it was shown that nutritious foods were not something that were bought in these types of families, this type of community. And so, you have to buy the cheap stuff that you can afford. So ramen noodles for dinner quite often, which is horrible. Some specific factors that I wanted to kind of talk about were mental, economic, social, and physical. So mentally, growing up as a child, you need a lot of attention, a lot of love from mom and dad. Now, these kids are not going to have either a mother or father figure. They're going to have one or the other. And it is super important to have both of those. And so that's going to be hard mentally for them. It's going to be hard mentally to understand why mom and dad is gone so often. Why do they have to go to daycare all the time? Why are they all the after school programs for long times? That's going to be hard mentally. Economically, for the parents, it's going to be hard, as I've already mentioned, to provide that care. Socially, it's going to be hard for all the little kids to have that social bond with their parents. And then physically, just stuff like health and getting to the doctor when needed and getting all the nutrients that need. Some root causes: lower household income. You're not making as much money, you're not going to be able to have as nice a house. Bearing all these responsibilities of raising a family by yourself, that's huge. Consequently, less discipline. You're not going to have time to discipline as much as need be. You're just scraping by. And then for families with multiple children, less direct attention for learning and education, as I already kind of talked about, which is going to have consequences. Maslow hierarchy of needs. Physical safety and self-actualization, I felt like were mostly unmet were love and belonging and self-esteem. Of those are going to have consequences, but overall I feel like the function level is probably a little below average, but still functionable. They're still going to be able to function. It might be a little bit harder, but it's still there. And then likely health outcomes, possibly more vulnerable than normal, but not as bad. So I kind of struggled with this one. I could not find any specific examples of communicable diseases, but I can imagine that they would be more prone to these just because of the amount of daycare hours they're going to have to spend, or being at all the after-school programs. After-school programs are great for social, but there's a lot of germs. Little kids carry a lot of germs and a lot of little diseases that can be spread easily. Another thing I thought about was they aren't going to be vaccinated, more than likely. I mean, some may, but some might not. And not getting those routine immunizations at the ages that are recommended could definitely lower their immune system and cause communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases. This one was interesting to me. Obesity, asthma, dental diseases, and allergic rhinitis. So obesity because they're not able to buy the nutritious foods that are needed. They have to sit at home a lot. Asthma, which was super interesting to me. It was found that a lot of kids have asthma in this type of population because of all the environmental things they're exposed to. Dental diseases because they aren't able to go to the dentist as often as needed. Self-care, mental health concerns. Their self-care may or may not be the best for lack of attention at home, their weight from sitting at home and eating those non-nutritious foods, their appearance. Maybe they're not going to be able to have the nice clothes, their diet's not going to be as good. Some ways that you could help this is staying active, involved in the community. Take advantage of those after-school programs. Make good friends. Reach out to extended family. And then last is the mentally unstable can contribute to many problems. These kids could potentially be bullied from the lifestyle they live. Kids notice everything. They could also be the ones doing the bullying because of their unhappiness. Reach out to a school counselor. Make sure they have other role models, positive role models, good friends, school nurses. Just take care of or reach out to your resources. And then these are my references. Thank you.